What were the Ardana Shadex? The Ardana Shadex were ancient stone giants created by the non-winged variety of Maldont, the Orcus on the human world of Ardana, during the Empyrean Wars sometime from 931 to 1931 NE, many eons before the Clone Wars. The Orcus were sent to engagements across the galaxy as foot soldiers, as with the Stenax, who looked down on them for their inability to fly. Their culture was strictly hierarchical, but while the Orcus also paid homage to the god of fire Sithlan, and his servant, Vol, their worship went primarily to Vol's consort, the great goddess, who at this time they revered as Vana. Unlike the Stenax, they'd crafted a technologically advanced society, albeit built on the backs of enslaved humans, lower-class Orcus. Ardanan cities were modelled on designs made up by human scientists they'd abducted. Their latest batch was tasked to build them mammoth robots, akin to the ones said to have rampaged across Sol and Shogun. After the first model was tested and deemed satisfactory, a large number of the stone giants were put in production. The Orcus called them the Ardana Shadex, and not only would they make Vana proud, they would elevate the Orcus above and past the Stenax in importance. The stone giants would never travel further than the inner rim, for the scientists had covertly built in them a code that would override all other commands. Destroy the stone giants, destroy the Orcus. The Ardana Shadex obeyed, and by the time the ferocious caches were over, they'd reduced themselves to shattered, scattered parts, and the Orcus to disparate clans fighting for scraps, leaving Ardana to be taken over millennia hence by the near-human Moskiv, who renamed it Simocardia. The only surviving stone giant to be deployed off-world lost his memory during a crash landing on Terra 2. There, the human child who found the robot taught him to choose peace and love, causing him to sacrifice his own life to protect his companion from their military's overreaction to its arrival. Many eons later, during the Clone Wars, Jedi Master Mace Windu went to the world of Simocardia to save it from an aggressive separatist onslaught. When Windu came to Empress Stefani, saving her from a wave of battle droids, he asked her the whereabouts of her son Prince Yojan. The Empress lied to him, saying he had joined the separatists, working with the droids on some kind of super-weapon that would drive the Republic away from Simocardia. When Mace figured out she was lying and couldn't get her to tell him the truth, he left to find Yojan on his own, but he was stopped by a short man with a hunchback who offered to help him obtain the information he needed. His name was Demo, the right-hand man of Yojan. He told Mace what was actually happening. He told him that Yojan was not actually helping the separatists, but using them instead to get what he was after, which was to destroy the Agrosite mines and anyone near him. They left for Yojan in a speeder. He elaborated that many eons ago, another race dominated Simocardia, an advanced culture that suddenly and mysteriously vanished. That Simocardian scholars are obsessed with it, which included Yojan. That not much is known about them, but from what little information they've been able to piece together, the records said that they fought their wars using the Ardana Shadex, stone giants that could topple mountains. They were what wiped out the old civilization. When they were done destroying the planet, they went back to sleep underground and had stayed there ever since. Until Yojan found one, and now plans to awaken it and use it to turn it loose on the Agrosite mines. Everyone on the planet would have to leave. Mace asked him why he was telling him this. If he was Yojan's friend, Yojan said he lied before, and he was stalling so Yojan could have time to get it done. By that time, he had led the speeder on a cliffside with hundreds of droids waiting. Mace, at lightsaber point, refused to fight them and forced Demo to turn the speeder around and take him to the actual location of Yojan. Yojan had already dug up half of the Ardana Shadex's body. Demo and Mace had arrived. Yojan's operation was stated to have exhausted an entire planet's worth of banking clan credits. Mace and Demo appeared before Yojan. Demo lied to Yojan, telling him he did everything he could to stall Mace and all the droids he had sent to stop him and been turned into scrap. Mace asked Yojan why he was doing this. The Ardana Shadex, once awakened, if not stopped, would destroy his entire planet. Mace broke out of his restraints and started dueling Yojan as they were stalemating in a saber lock. One of Yojan's guards with a sniper rifle aimed at Mace's head and fired, but Yojan pulled his staff back to deflect the shot, saving Mace's life, because Mace still had a good relationship with the royal family of Simokadia. After years, ever since he had saved their world, Yojan never intended to kill Mace, just to prevent him from stopping his plan. They continued to duel a bit, until Yojan, with the butt of his staff, hit Mace's neck, causing him to spew out some blood. Taking this brief moment of opening of time to his advantage, Yojan ordered Demo to use the glass key he had recently also dug up and found to activate the stone giant and start controlling it. As Demo inserted the key, Mace tried to stop the key from connecting by throwing his lightsaber to stop it, but it missed, hitting the armor of the Ardana Shadex, sparking it, causing an explosion, damaging the key. But it was too late. The giant had already awoken. Yojan told Mace he had destroyed the only way to control the machine and doomed them all. They ran to their ship to escape. The giant rose to its full height and size. It was massive, completely dwarfing the ship. Mace said there had to be a way to stop it, but Yojan said he had destroyed the only way. Their only hope now to stop the gargantuan being would be to get inside the Shadex and retrieve the key, and that was only if it wasn't badly damaged, which was unlikely. Clones fighting battle droids on a nearby battlefield all stopped fighting in awe as they saw the gigantic robot approaching, and then it destroyed them. Mace asked Yojan if he had figured out a way to turn the Shadex off before turning it on, and Yojan explained that he had only programmed it to destroy the mines, after which it would return to dormancy, that there weren't many emergency procedures in its programming. He hadn't accepted to need them. When they had caught up to the robot, Yojan proposed his plan, which was to get inside of it and flip the hidden kill switch its creators had put in it. Getting inside would be the easy part, but getting out would be the next to impossible part. Mace opted to do it. Impossibilities were his speciality. Both gave their reasons for why they should be the ones to go, but Mace won and still didn't allow him. Demo warned them that they better be fast, as the Ardana Shadex was arriving at the royal city, ready to cause utter destruction and devastation. Yojan told Mace that they had to get the glass key of the inhibitor of the robot's neck. He said it was a task that required both of them. Mace agreed and ordered Demo to bring them in close. Yojan thanked him for listening to his plan this time. The Ardana Shadex began to wreak utter havoc on the city. The ship flew by close enough to where Mace could land on the robot's shoulder, cutting open a hole in the creature's armor. Mace was able to get the glass key, but he needed to get in through the creature's mouth to destroy it. Mace partially punctured one of the Shadex's ear slots, which caused it to scream in pain, open on its mouth. Mace threw the key across the sky like a frisbee. Yojan captured it, and then went with the key, descended into the gears and depths of the massive robot's insides. Just then, the Shadex stopped fighting and stood completely still, touching its lower abdomen, gulping, its insides beginning to explode after Yojan was able to detonate the kill switch. Republic ships flew by. It sprayed fire from its exploding insides at one of them, destroying it. And then 9 more explosions occurred throughout its body. Yojan cried to Mace, telling him he couldn't get out alive. Mace slashed at the Ardana's Shadex's shoulder, opening a hole, telling Yojan to hold on, but that was the last damage the huge machine could take anymore. It glowed like many massive pillars of light, its metal going black and burned, and its insides completely 100% exploded. leaving nothing but the indestructible shell of its outside armor. The inside was completely hollow now. Its body fell down, crashing into a building, perishing, its head falling off. Mace riding the Ardana Shadex as its body fell. Mace called out for Yojan, but the clones revealed to him he too had perished. As the clones cleaned up the city, they remarked the Ardana's Shadex's technology was unique and interesting, and very different from modern-day technology. They might be able to utilize it for war purposes. Mace was hit hard and saddened greatly by Yojan's death, and had a flashback of when he had first saved Simokadia and become friends with Yojan. Mace told Yoda as they watched the prince's funeral that he was once a hero to these people, and now they hated him, blaming him for everything that had happened, including the prince's death. His relationship with the Empress was forever broken. Yoda told him his intentions had always been true to help Simokadia, and he could have not known this would be the outcome of it. Tragic it is, but his actions in vain, they were not. The separatist forces had scattered from Simokadia, and the world was now safe in Republic hands. Yoda remarked there was much the Republic could learn from the Colossus Mace had felled. Its technology was extraordinary, and far ahead the field of the technology of the current time. The blurb of the comic regards the Ardana Shadex as being indestructible and able to cost many lives and more destruction than the current war, and as such a threat that Mace must race against time to prevent utter disaster. Also stated as threatening to destroy the ancient society of Simokadia. It is important to note that the Ardana Shadex the Republic felled was likely weakened and past its prime due to being buried for tens of thousands of years. Its mechanisms and gears would have been rusty and slow, not functioning to their full potential. Its armor would have also been weakened due to the weathering over such a long period of time, and it was also out of combat for a very long time and likely rusty, and its war with its brothers many eons ago had weakened it to shattered, scattered scraps and parts. Also important to note that the Republic could have not stopped it by any other ways than someone flicking its death switch or controlling it through the glass key, as that was its clear intention in the comic. The Ardana Shadex are meant to be a massive, indestructible force, dwarfing mountains and skyscrapers that can topple mountains and destroy planets and cause utter havoc to civilizations, and can only be stopped by those two ways. Overall, the Ardana Shadex is one of the most powerful droids ever, only surpassed by most or all of the 6 gods and the Abominor and Silentium races and a few others, and are stronger than the grand majority of mortal force users. Sources: Star Wars Supernatural Encounters, Volume 1, and the Clone Wars Novella 4, The Colossus of Destiny. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like and sub or follow if watching on TikTok for more SWEU lore, and leave suggestions for other lore vids in comments below. May the Force be with you, my acolytes.